Hello friends, this is Sankesh Sharma and welcome to my channel. And today we are going to do movie data analysis using Pandas and Python. So for that, I'll be providing you this blank template so you can practice at your home, and I'll provide you the data set. So now let's get started. So our problem statement is that we have got the data for top 100 movies from the past decade along with various pieces of information about the movies like its actors and other voters who have rated these movies online. So in this assignment we will try to find some interesting insights into these movies and the voters using Python. So first of all, let's get rid of those reiterating warnings. For that I have imported warnings and use warnings.filter warnings and passed ignore into that. So it will ignore all the irritating warnings in Python. And for doing data analysis, I imported several required libraries like Numpy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and seaborn. So I have imported Numpy as NP, imported Pandas as PD, imported Matplotlib.pyplot as PLT, imported seaborn as SNS. So NumPy and Pandas are used for data analysis and data manipulation, while Matplotlib and SNS are used for data visualization. So first of all, we need to read the data. So I have this data here in data folder inside the CSV file. So we will be getting this data loaded. So I have loaded the data as movies using read underscore CSV method of pandas, and I pass the file name here, file path here. And for checking the data if it is loaded or not, I have used dot head function. So dot head function will return the top few rows. By default it will return 5 rows. If you want a particular number of rows returned, so you can pass the number here. So I have returned 8 rows here. Now we'll check for the shape of the data. So I have used dot shape method here. Movie dot shape, it will return the rows and the columns. So we have got 100 rows in the data set and 62 columns. For more information on the columns, we can use dot info function. So movie.info function will return this information for all the 62 columns, like how many non-null values are there and what is the data type of that column. So we have got some columns of object data types, some columns of int data types, and some columns of float data types. So we have got 21 columns of float data type, 32 columns of integer data type, and 9 columns of string data type. And there are several values missing for some columns. That's not a problem here. Now we will fetch a little summary about numerical column. So we can do that using .describe function. So movies.describe will return this information like number of observation as count, the mean value or average value, the standard deviation, the minimum value, and qua- qua- quartile ranges like this is 55 percentile, this is median, this is 75 percentile, and the maximum value. So here we can see this information for all the numerical columns, like we can see here active one's Facebook likes, total observation are 100, average value is 13,417, median value is 13,000, minimum value is 39, maximum value is 35,000. So like that, this information is available for all the numerical columns. Now we'll start our data analysis. So we can see here like the budget and the gross. So these numbers are very huge and compromising our readability. So we'll convert them to $1,000,000. For doing that, we will divide each value of these two columns by 1 million. So I have reassigned movies gross divided by 1 million to movies gross column, and movies budget divided by 1 million to movies budget column. So here what I have done, I have divided each value of these columns by 1 million and then reassign those values to these columns. Now we can see that now it is much easier to read, like whether it is 30 million and gross is 151 point something million. Now we can talk about profit. So profit is nothing but the difference between gross and budget. So we can create a new column called profit in movies data frame and assign the difference of gross and budget to this new column, and then we can see the profit, gross and budget column of the movies like this. So here we can see that this movie is has earned $121 million as profit. Now sort these values by profit in the descending order and return the title and the profit of those movies. So that's what I have done. So for sorting, we will use short underscore values method, and we will pass the parameters like by which column we want to sort it. So we want to sort it by profit, so by profit, and descending or ascending order. So we'll set the ascending to false because we want the maximum profit at the top. So we'll sort it by a descending order. So ascending will be false. And then I'll return the title of the movie and the profit it has earned. So for checking the top 5 movies, we can use dot head function. So it will return the title and profit of the top 5 profitable movies. So these are the top 5 profitable movies here. So we can see that Star Wars Episode 7, The Avengers, Deadpool, Hunger Games, and Toy Story 3 are the most popular movies of the decade. If you want to see the top 10 movies, we can use mm, the number 10 inside the dot head method. So here are the top 10 movies. Now we can plot the budget versus profit to analyze more on profit. So I have used dot scatter method of pyplot matplotlib.pyplot, so that I have imported as plt. So here I'll use plt dot scatter. Then I'll pass the column which will be used as x-axis. So movies budget here and movies profit will be used as y-axis values, and for the scatter plot what markers I want. So I want O as the marker, and the marker color here is green, and I set the title of this plot as budget versus profit. I can use font date to play with its format, like font size is 14 and color is brown here. For the x-axis I have given the label budget, for the y-axis I have given the label profit. Then I have plotted this budget versus profit scatter plot. So we can see here this movie which has little less than $250 million and have earned more than $700 million. So it is making a huge profit. And here are some movies which has profit less than zero. So these are having negative profit. It means they are making losses. So analyze more on that. We can extract the loss making movies using movies data frame. So we will extract those movies who are making profit below zero from the movie data frame and assign it to loss making movies. Then we can see the top loss making movies using dot head function. So these are the top loss making movies. Yeah, Tucker and Dale versus Evil, Armor, Rush, Warrior, Flip. Now we will talk about the general audience and critics. So here there are two columns. One is Metacritic. So this is a very popular website where an average score is determined through the scores given by the top rated critics. And second, we have IMDb ratings. This rating is determined by taking the average of hundred of thousand of ratings from the general audience. But there is one difference between them. Metacritic rating is on a scale of 100, while IMDb rating is on the scale of 10. So for using those or adding those, we would need to convert Metacritic to the same scale. For doing that, we will divide the Metacritic ratings by 10 and reassign that to Metacritic column. So that's what I've done here. Now we will calculate the average rating. So I have created one new column called average rating, and I have assigned the values of Metacritic plus IMDb ratings divided by 2 this to this new column. So then I have created a new data frame which is extracting those movies which has difference between Metacritic and IMDb rating less than 0.5. So this is the absolute difference between them. Then I have created new data frame df1, which is extracting title, Metacritic, IMDb, and average rating from df. And then I have sorted the data frame using sort values method by average rating in descending order. Then to find out the universally acclaimed movies, I have created a new data frame universal acclaim from df1 where by extracting average ratings which are greater than or equals to 8. So these are our universally acclaimed movies where Metacritic and IMDb rating difference is less than 0.5 and average rating is greater than or equal to 8. So these are our universally acclaimed movies. So these are Whiplash, Django Unchained, Dallas Fire Club, Star Wars Episode 7, Arrival, Gone Girl, and The Martian. Now a producer is looking to make a blockbuster movie. So there will primarily be three lead roles in this movie and he wished to cast the most popular actors for it. Now since he don't want to take a risk, he will cast a trio which has already acted in together in a movie before. So he wants us to find the most popular trio based on the Facebook likes of each of these actors. So we have got the columns like actor 1 Facebook like, actor 2 Facebook likes, and actor 3 Facebook likes, which have worked together. So we will be using this information to extract the most popular trio. So for doing that, we will use pivot tables in Pandas. So I have created a new data frame called group and created a pivot table from movie data frame using actor 1 Facebook like, actor 2 Facebook like, and actor 3 Facebook like as values and sum as the aggregate function and actor 1, actor 2, actor 3 names as the indexes. So here is our group data frame which returns the actor 1, 2, 3 names and actor 1, 2, 3 Facebook likes. Now we will make one another column in group which is total like, that is nothing but the sum of the Facebook likes of all the three actors which have worked together. So it is our new column here. Okay, so now let's sort these values by total likes in descending order. So I have sorted this in descending order. Now we'll find out the top 5 trio. So for doing that we can use dot head method or we can do it by iloc as well like this, but dot head is much simpler. So these are the top 5 popular trios. Now in previous tasks we have found the most popular trio based on the total number of Facebook likes. Now let's add a small condition to it to make sure that all the three actors are popular alike. The condition is that none of the three actors Facebook like should be less than half of the other two. Like Facebook act, actor 1 Facebook likes should not be less than half of the actor 2 Facebook like, and should not be less than half of the actor 3 Facebook likes. Similarly, actor 2 Facebook likes should not be less than half of the actor 1 and actor 3 Facebook likes. Similarly, actor 3 Facebook like should not be less than half of the actor 1 and actor 2 Facebook likes. So here will be these 6 conditions. So I have extracted information from the group by using these conditions. So I have noted the conditions in each line here, like actor 1 Facebook like should be greater than actor 2 Facebook like divided by 2. If this condition satisfy and all of these conditions satisfy, it will extract only those rows from the group and then assign it to group. So here we can see we can use dot head method for finding top 5 trials who are satisfying these conditions. So these are the top 5 trios: Leonardo, Tom Hardy, Joseph Gordon, Jennifer Lawrence, Peter Dinklage, Hugh Jackman, Tom Hardy, Christian Bale, Joseph Gordon, like this. 2.6 is a runtime analysis. So there's a column named runtime in the data frame which primarily shows the length of the movie. So it might be interesting to see how this variable is distributed. So let's plot a histogram. So I have plotted a histogram here using Matplotlib hist function here. So I have passed the runtime column of movie data frame here like this, and we can see the histogram of the runtime here. So most of the movies are sharply 2 hours or 120 minutes. We can do this using disk plot as well from the seaborn. So yeah, pass the movie runtime in the disk plot of seaborn, and it is plotting the similar kind of graph, except here we are getting this distribution graph. So here as well you can see that most of the movies are sharply 2 hours or 120 minutes long. Now we will be analyzing the R-rated movies. So R-rated movies are those movies who are restricted for under 18 age group, but we can see that there are C vote under 18 column there who have rated for R category movies as well. So let's create a data frame popular R. So in the data frame I have extracted movies whose content rating is R from the movie data frame and sort them by C vote under 19 in descending order. I've set the ascending as false, so it is descending order, and I have extracted this content rating where content rating is R. So this is extracting movies which are having content rating as R. Then I have sorted these values by their C vote under 18 in descending order, and then I have extracted the top 10 by C votes. So I am extracting these columns only: title, content rating, and C vote under 18 from popular R. And we can see that these are the top 10 R rated movies which are popular in under 18 group as well. So the number one movie here is Deadpool. Now we will be doing some demographic analysis. So we can see that the last columns in the data frames, most of these are related to demographics of the voter. We also have three genre columns indicating the genre of particular movie. We will extensively use these columns for the third and the final stage of our assignment. So let's do some analysis here. We are extracting the demographic columns in a list called demographics. So these are the columns ranging from the 11 to the second last one. Why second last one? Because we have added two more columns or data frame. If we see the columns, so the 11th one is genre one, the last one is country, but we have added some columns like profit as well. So this second last column we will extract. So I have created the list here. Where it is? Yeah, it is here. So from the movies column, I am extracting only those columns which are lying in demographics from genre 1 to country. Okay, then we can see that this is the information for this data frame DFY genre. So I have added one another column and initiated this column values as 1. So this is CNT count in the DFY genre column. Now I am grouping values by genre 1 and using the aggregate function sum. So we can see that 27 movies are falling under action genre and 12 movies are falling under adventure genre. Similarly, I'm doing for genre 2 and calling it DFY-G2. Similarly, I'm doing for genre 3 and calling it DFY-G3. Then I am adding these three data frame df g1 g2 and g3 in a single data frame called df.add. I'm using pandas add method for that I'm doing df by g1.add then the second data frame and I'm filling the nan values as 0. Then I'm for the resultant of this I'm adding the third data frame df by g3 and filling the nan values by 0 and it will result into this data frame. So it will add all the movies following the similar genre, and we can see that here the action genre now has 31 movies. Similarly, western genre now has 2 movies. Okay, now I am extracting only those movies whose count is more than 10, and among them I am only extracting top 10 movies. So I have extracted movies where DF add the count column of df add data frame is greater than 10 and I'm calling it genre top 10 and then I'm extracting top 10 of them. So it is genre top 10. We can see only these are the top 10 genres: action, adventure, animation, biography, comedy, crime, drama, romance, sci-fi, thriller. Okay, now I'm creating a new data frame called CNT using the count column of the genre top 10 data frame, and I'm dropping the count column using dot drop function of pandas from the axis 1 is nothing but columns while axis 0 is rows. So I'm dropping CNT from axis 1 of genre top 10 and then genre top 10 columns on rows. All the rows values will be divided by CNT. So it is nothing, just taking the averages of those numerical column. So the average Metacritic rating here is 7.2 while it was the sum. Now, and the average keyboards are like this. Well, this was the sum. So now it makes sense why I have dropped this column. Okay, now we are rounding off the values for 2 decimal places. So I have passed the genre top 10 data frame here and all the values will be rounded off to 2. Okay, using the round function. So we can see that all the values have been rounded off to 2 decimal points. Now I am converting the C vote column because vote columns can't be floats. So we are converting it into integer values. So I have extracted seaborn uh, columns only from the general top 10, and I reassigned it to as type integer. So now we can see that all the vote related columns, C vote related columns have been changed to integers like this. And again, I am creating count column in the general top 10 using the count data frame here. So I have reassigned the values of count data frame into count column general top 10 data frame. Now we can see that this data frame has count column here. Okay, now for all the analysis going forward, we will be using only this data frame. So we are plotting a graph count plot by genre. So we are seeing that how many movies are lying uh, among each genre. So I have used the SNS.bar plot. I'm using the bar plot from seaborn library. So it is SNS.bar plot. Here we are passing the values which we want to show at x-axis. So I'm showing the numbers on x-axis, and on y-axis I want to show the name of the genre, and I want to order them in ascending order. I want to order the indexes in ascending order of the counts. So I have sorted the values of genre top 10 by count, and then I'm arranging those indexes in descend, ascending order. So here we can see that all the values are arranged in ascending order. So the uh, these number of movies are falling into animation category, while the most number of movies are falling into drama categories. Okay, now we will run some analysis on gender and genre. So we have columns like votes and C votes. So we will use this information for driving analysis on them. So for that, I'm plotting a heat map for the column C vote under 18 male, C vote 18 to 29 male, C vote 30 to 44 male, C vote 45 uh, above males. Similarly, we are doing that heat map for the females as well. So for that, I want to denote these columns on the same figure. So I am using plt.figure function for this. The figure size I have provided here. The figure size is 20 by 10. We can adjust this size if you want to. And then the subplots like 1 to 1 like this. Okay, now when we are seeing this heat map, we can see that we can draw some inferences from here. Like we can see that generally the values and this are up to 1,70,000 while they are only 40,000. So we can uh, inference, we can make an inference like male voters are voting more while female voters are voting less. There's less voting from the female side while the more voting from the male side. And other inference we can make that sci-fi is the most popular among 18 to 29 group. Like we can see that uh, this is up to 10 to the power 5, this is 10 to the power 4. Yeah, so this is most popular category among both the genders. And other inferences we can make that like romance has got the least number of votes among any age group of males. So yeah, the males, and this is romance. So yeah, we can make an inference like romance is least favorite for males, and action seems to be more popular genre among under 18 males. For under 18 males, the action is Most popular, yeah, it is right. While animation is the most popular among under 18 females, yes, it is correct. And 18 to 29 age group seems to be most actively voting for and any genre, irrespective of the gender. Yeah, 18 to 29 group, this group. So the color are mostly in red, so we can make an inference like this is age group is most actively voting irrespective of their gender. So, yep. So now we will plot a similar kind of heat map using board columns. That was using seaboard columns. Now we will use sports columns. So here we can see that sci-fi appears to be the highest rated genre. Sci-fi is the highest rated genre among both the genders. And all genre except for crime and thriller are more or equally popular amongst under 19 females. So we can see that all genres except for uh, crime and thriller, they have voted male have voted 8.2 while female have voted 8.1, while for other genres they have voted equally or more. So all gender except for crime and thriller are more or equally popular amongst under 19 females, and 18 to 29 males like sci-fi more than other genres, while females in this group like animation more. 18 to 29 group, yeah, animation more. And Roma genre is the least popular among both the genders of 45 plus group. So here the 45 plus group, and we can see that it is dark blue for both the genders, so it is the least favorite. So this is it. You can draw some other visualization for other columns as well. You can run some other analysis as well. So keep doing that, keep learning, keep watching my channel, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll share the blank template with you and the solution as well. So, and you can also email me if you have any queries or questions. So thank you guys. Bye bye. See ya. Take care.